Next up, at UFC Nashville, we have Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Ludovit Klein. Ignacio Bahamondes, or as Jacob says, Bahama Mama, is 17-5 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight win streak. He's taking on Ludovit Klein. This guy's 19-4 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that draw to Jai Herbert, and this is another one with some interesting line movement. This line's actually tightening instead of widening. I assumed it would widen, but I guess I get it, right? Ludovit Klein is a very good striker. He's a very technical striker. He's smooth. He's fast. He's accurate. He does a really nice job of keeping fights technical, hiding kicks behind his jab. He's never throwing anything lazy. He's never out of position. He's got a solid 81% takedown defense, and he will look to offensively wrestle if he's losing some of those striking exchanges. He's coming off that loss, or that draw, to Jai Herbert, where he was cut in the middle of the first round. That really just threw off all the judging. He did work in 2 takedowns in that fight, and he was able to get some control time. He's taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. This guy is another huge guy for the division. He's 6'3" at lightweight. He's a very good striker. He's got incredible volume, pretty good power, but it's not really like one punch, boom. It's just he's so long, so accurate, he can get you down there. He has incredible takedown defense at 95%, but his takedown offense is 0. And sometimes when you see 0 on the stats, it means they never shot a takedown. He has attempted 4 takedowns and gotten 0 of them. He's coming off that win over Trey Ogden, where he actually did look sharp. He's had solid leg kicks, and he more than doubled Trey's strikes. I'm a big Ludovit fan, I quite a bit, actually. He's super technical. When he's on, he looks absolutely incredible. He can be a problem for anybody. But this is a super tough fight. Ignacio is massive. He uses his length well. He can snatch up submissions from anywhere. I think these odds are appropriate. I'm surprised they're tightening instead of widening. And I think Ignacio Bahamondes gets this done. And that's not a slight on Ludovit. I just think Ignacio is that freaking good. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think Ignacio is pretty good as well. And Ludovic was, one of the greatest lock of the weeks of all time, plus 375 versus Mason. The reason why I liked him in that fight is because of his dynamic striking, can mix in the wrestling, but it's really his pace and his pressure. And that's something you didn't see against Jai. I mean, I kind of liked him in that matchup against Jai, a guy that can kind of get bullied around. And you didn't see him bullying Jai until that 3rd round, until there was, I think there was a point deduction or something. And then else he just started going crazy, getting the takedowns, doing what he needed to do. But, I mean, by that time, it was, too little, too late. And it was really the length of Jai. I mean, you could tell that he was just kind of staying at that kickboxing range and really didn't know how to get inside the dynamic, fast, rangy striking of Jai. And if there was a Jai times 2 or a Jai 2.0, it's probably Ignacio. I mean, Ignacio is basically Jai Herbert, but a better version of Jai. He doesn't have, as you mentioned, the kind of the offensive wrestling, because Jai will throw in a takedown or 2 against some people, but Ignacio is better. I mean, he's basically a better version of Jai. And if Ludovic, Ludovic, this is a very winnable fight for Ludovic. So people that want to play the Ludovic side, I understand it. But he needs to show up and be that aggressive Ludovic. He needs to get in the face. He needs to close the distance, push him against the cage, make this kid work, put him on his back, and he's got to be careful doing that too, because Ignacio's got decent front chokes and everything like that. So, but Ludovic's got to bring the pace. He's got to bring the pressure. He has to be the one dictating the octagon, pushing him backwards, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it against Ignacio. Ignacio's got good footwork. He can circle around. He knows how to keep that range, Chilean national kickboxing champion or whatever it is. So, unfortunately, I like Ludovic. I'm going with Ignacio.
We're on the same page. Have we disagreed yet?
We have.
Oh. All right. Yeah, well, I like Ignacio here. I think he is... I want to say he's safe to parlay, but then, this will be the fight where Ludovic smokes him, and it's like, yeah, of course. The guy was such a freak.
Ludovic's more than capable of winning this fight for sure.
Super technical striker. And you're, like you said, without the threat of a takedown, maybe he doesn't have to worry about it. But what I think could happen is if Ludovic gets touched up a little bit and then shoots his own takedown, Ignacio could snatch something up. He's phenomenal at scooping things up in those defensive wrestling positions. He's just so freaking long. Just works in those chokes and gets things going. Anyway, $9,100 on DraftKings is tricky because without the takedowns, without the threat of a takedown and control time and the 5 point, without any of that, you're going to need a stoppage out of him. And Ludovic's not, that's going to be tough to do, right? We're both on Ignacio, but you thinking $9,100 is worth it?
No, because I mean, if he wins, in my mind, if he wins, he needs to win safe. Like he needs to just kind of keep his distance, kind of point. If he starts throwing power, I think he'd get countered and get caught, which, you know, not good.
I agree. I probably a fade at $9,100 in DraftKings because without the grappling and probably not a finish, then what's he really going to score? We'll take a look, see what he did against Trey Ogden because that could look somewhat similar. WeOwnPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You'll unlock literally everything. Picks, bets, fantasy information. FanDuel as well. We don't talk about FanDuel very often here or at all. But everything we have for DraftKings, we have for FanDuel. Full breakdowns of every single person you should put in your single entry, multi-entry, ranking the fighters by salaries. All of that for FanDuel, for DraftKings, the DraftKings Optimizer. There's so much. It's honestly insane. $10 a month at WeOwnPicks.com. Just click Become a Member.